Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Have you ever wanted to be a RuneScape billionaire? Well, now's your chance. Because my friend's dad works for Jagex. It's really neat, because all you have to do is email him your username and password, and you become a 2-year membership completely free, and 20 million GP you get. This is not a scam. I know 20 people, just as my friends, that try to make scams like doing this. But this is not a scam. This is real. You see, he works for Jagex, and he is the hacker. He pretty much knows every single hack in Jagex, but this is the best one yet. So, you want it? Email your username and password to this email: superhero06@gmail.com.
Welcome to episode 215 of the Wilderness Podcast. I am Dills, and joined with me today is Heartless. How's it going?
Good. How are you, Dills?
Doing pretty good. We've got some things to talk about, and those things are, this is getting so confusing, but Group Iron Man gets some new changes with a new type of Group Iron Man called the unranked Group Iron. It's getting a little complicated, but whatever, that's fine, I guess. And we get the Gielinor Gazette for June 2022, and with it, we get some cool stuff in it, including a sneak peek at some more of Raids 3. They even showcased what some of the weapons gonna look like. It looks badass, but we can talk about it when we get to the news. And finally, we have got the forever hyped up the PvP Arena soft launch. So this is like a part 1. This is like a beta, and they're releasing the full thing next week. But that came out this week. But yeah, Heartless, it's kind of been a while since we last recorded together. We've been slowly working on the bonus episode that we teased some odd episodes ago, but ignoring that, if it's been a while, what have you been up to? I think you got hit with an illness, didn't you?
Yeah, conspiracy music. You actually made me sick to phase Deegan back in, right? No, I had COVID. It was only a matter of time working in schools. Like, it was around all year. I'm surprised I dodged it for so long.
Yeah,
and then
true.
The second to last week of work, it was like kind of a field trip week, and I ended up taking the children to the water park on the Monday. And when I got to work, I was like, something doesn't feel right. I had a bit of a headache. And then we walked to the park, and I just felt like shit pretty much the entire way. I didn't feel like myself. And then we get there, and I was just completely out of it. So I just kind of lurked on the side and survived the day. And then walking back at the end of the day was even worse. Like, I could barely function. Got home, slept for 4 hours, took a COVID test, and bingo, I was positive. So sadly, once again, I missed the beach day. I was devastated, Dills, that I missed the beach day. Basically, just take the kids to the beach. The whole school goes to the beach for the day. And I missed the goddamn ice cream truck again.
Oh,
second year in a row. I know, it's criminal.
Oh,
so,
jeez.
Next year's my year, baby. Next year.
Oh, wow. Do you live near a beach?
Yeah, the schools are near a beach. Yeah, there's like a lagoon, and there's a huge road that goes and like kind of forms the lagoon.
What's a lagoon?
A lagoon is like a cut off piece of ocean that kind of makes kind of like a small lake, but it's next to the ocean.
Oh, interesting. So it's like a saltwater lake.
It's a saltwater lake, yeah, but it's always like right next to the ocean. So this one just happens to have a strip of land in between it. So what happens is, like, over time, sand gets drifted down the shore. And then if the shoreline is formed in such a way where there's like kind of a cove area, if there's enough sand in the area, eventually the drifting shore will close off that area and turn it into a lagoon.
Wow. I'm looking on Google. Lagoons look so. Does your lagoon look as nice as the lagoons that I'm looking at?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Oh no, that's so sick.
Yeah, so the sandbar that was formed over probably, many hundreds of years, we just slapped a road on it, so it's super nice. So you can just drive right down this huge sandbar, and then there's a beach on the ocean side, and on the lagoon side, it's kind of reedy and stuff. But yeah, it's really nice, dude.
That's cool. See, I don't live near the ocean, so we don't get any of these cool lagoons.
And I'm pretty sure it wasn't always this way, but we did. I think humans dredged it a little bit, so there's a bridge on one end, so that the water can flow in and out, so it stays fresh.
Very cool. Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's super nice.
Well, and you missed it, so that sucks.
And I missed it, dude. I was so upset. But then I got to go back to work for my final week, and then this week I've been off. So that's real life. So I'm feeling much better now.
It's not bad. Well, that's good. It's good that you've recovered from it. 'Cause that sucks. A few times I wake up and I got like a little tickle in my throat, and I'm like, uh-oh. But then it kind of just goes away. But that'd be a trip to like go for a walk somewhere, and then now that you're out on your walk, you get hit with it.
Yeah, it was really rough. Anyways, yeah, the first few days were really bad, and then I started to recover, and I just kind of had to ride out my sickness at home. So I ended up playing RuneScape for the last few days, pretty hard. And I pulled a little item, Dills.
Oh, see, that's what Jagus does to you.
My first next non-pet unique, I got fan braces.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yes.
Best in slot range glove.
Yeah,
piece.
best in slot. So it was nice to see that loot beam on the floor after 100 hours of grinding necks.
Nice. And that'll get that sickness right out of you.
Yeah, I've tried I found a little new technique as well. There's a bunch of different methods for necks, but Ironman, because brews are such a problem, I've kind of mentioned how it can be 15 to 20,000 brews to finish if you do sort of standard main methods. So irons tend to do 4-mans. So you like spend half an hour killing mages and build up like 400 KC. And then you just kind of loop through the boss and do 1 KC trips. So all you need to bring is sharks or manta rays or whatever big healing food you have, some prayer potions, a couple spare brews just in case things go south. And then you can just loop through the kills, and they're like 5 or 6 minutes, or maybe 6 or 7 minutes. So that's what I have been doing for the last couple weeks whenever I have time. The only problem is it takes 3 hours to like do the whole thing, like 2 hours of killing necks, plus an hour of getting KC and finding a team. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Which is another reason I don't like next raids, because now you basically need to carve out like 3 hours to get a decent trip in. So it's like that Inferno problem.
Yeah.
On top of the boss not being fun at all. Whereas like at least Nightmare, if you have half an hour, you can go get 3 kills. Or Corrupted Gauntlet, or any of those really, interesting late game bosses. Just kind of do it on your own schedule. But yeah, next takes a lot of time. Even Taub, like you just have half an hour. Oh, I'll go send 1 Taub. Or Chambers, I have 45 minutes. I can go send 1. But yeah, next is like several hour commitment for the most part.
Yeah, that's a pain.
Which is just another one of its many, many issues. I feel like every week I just complain about next, so we can move on to something else. But yeah, but it was nice to get a drop. So, and then I'm off for the summer. So yeah, it's been great.
Lots of
what
necks.
If you lots of necks this summer? Yeah, trying to stay active as well. So go to the gym and play a lot of soccer. It's going to be a good summer, I think.
Nice, becoming a gym rat. Oh yeah.
Not a rat for sure, but it's nice. And like I had shattered my ankle when I was 23 playing soccer, and it was like a career ender. So it's hard to find low impact things, and the gym is pretty low impact. Which is nice. So it doesn't hurt my ankle, and I still get to stay pretty fit. Yeah, that's good. So I've been working on that, dude. God of Thunder, member of the clan, actually came up for the weekend.
Oh, you met someone in the clan.
Yeah, I met someone in the clan in real life. I should have led with this because this is the most exciting thing that's happened in the last few weeks. Yeah, it was such a great trip. He lives just down in Washington, so he grabbed the boat up to meet me in Victoria, and we spent the weekend together.
That's sick.
Yeah, it was fun. We did a bunch of different things. toured
Play
the city,
RuneScape?
tried some food. Oh hell yeah, we played some RuneScape.
Go
What
to
are you
library.
talking about?
Go to
Well,
the
there's some
public
good.
library.
I'll have to post one of the pictures in general. But he brought his laptop and we set up on my desk. So
Oh, that's amazing.
we did some next. He actually got a Van Braces drop while we were here. So fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we had a good time, man. It was really enjoyable.
That's really cool. I've only ever had the chance to meet one person who had listened to the podcast or been in the clan chat. And we went out. I live near Niagara Falls, and they were from Texas, and they came up for their honeymoon. And,
Nice.
And we went out for breakfast. It was me, him, and his newlywed wife, which is so they're on their honeymoon and we're hanging out talking about RuneScape. Not really, but we went out for breakfast and it was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
And then there was someone else who they're in a heavy metal band called Ghost Bath. So if you're listening, and they were doing a concert in Toronto, and I was gonna go and see them, but I was working this stupid shitty job at a grocery store when I was in college, and they made me stay late, which meant I missed the concert. Oh,
Goddamn
so
grocery
cheap.
store managers, man.
Bro, I was like, I'm too
Lighten
old for
up.
this shit.
That's cool. It's fun meeting someone. Hey, we'd been friends. Like Thunder and I had been friends for at least a year on like online playing bingos or just doing content together. So I like knew him quite well.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't weird meeting him in person or anything. And I've done it before. Like when I played League, a bunch of my friends from that podcast and like in our friends group met up for PAX, like the big video game conference.
That's cool.
And that was such a fun experience. And this was, equally good. So
yeah, the dream would be like what would be amazing. I like to dream about this sometimes, but like RuneFest, the next RuneFest happens, and we're able to like book a bunch of hotel rooms and a bunch of people. We all meet up. I think that would be so cool. But
yeah, you and I should at least meet up and do a live podcast one day.
Oh, that'd be sweet. We had Zyras, who was someone who hangs out in the clan chat, and he lived near RuneFest, and he decided I've never been able to go to RuneFest because it's just so expensive to get tickets, and just never had the money to do it. But it's my dream to do that, and then meet up with some people would be amazing on top of that. But he went out for us, and I ended up just doing like a live stream, like radio show where he would be able to call into the stream to be like, hey, I'm with Bodhi at one point. He was like, I'm with Bodhi and he's going to say a few things. And they did a quick little interview. It was really cool. That's the closest I've ever been to RuneFest. Someone else went and then I got to hear how good it was. Spoiler alert, apparently small areas stink. So just...
RuneFest?
Yeah.
Not surprised, man. Jesus.
Who would have thunk?
I've been to PAX, which is just like an upgraded version of RuneFest. And doesn't always smell the best. Hygiene is not the most important thing for certain people.
That's funny.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people just emerging from their basements for the first time all year. Just RuneFest.
Yeah, one stick of deodorant is not enough.
Jesus, yeah.
Quite eventful. Anything else you've been up to?
No, that's pretty much it. What about you?
It's been a bit of a crazy period, which I don't know how this is going to work out. But so I live in Canada. I live in Ontario, and I know BC is dealing with a similar problem. But Ontario is, if you want to own a house in Ontario, it's just like not going to happen. I live in this like I live in a city, but it's not Toronto. And the average price of a house is $1 million right now, which is like...
Same here. For a piece of shit house, it's like $1 million.
It's insane. I just saw... Anyways, it's crazy. And all of Ontario... Ontario is a huge province. Like, it's massive. You cannot... Like, affordable housing just doesn't exist in this entire province. But now that we have a kid, we've been trying to think about, well, what do we do? Because we want to own a house at some point. That's like the next step. So we both work from home. So we've been thinking like, okay, maybe we might have to leave province. And that's actually what we're going to do. So we've been looking at different provinces where more affordable cities in a better place to like raise a family and stuff. So after like months and months and months of like research, we finally landed on a city in New Brunswick. So we started doing a lot of research there, and we actually were like, hey, this is probably where we're going to want to move. So we had the process going of like looking at houses and stuff because it is so much more affordable, and it's just like a really nice area, and it's just a way more chill lifestyle. So then I ended up flying out last week to go just look at some houses, but also kind of, I've never been to the city before, so make sure that it's actually like a place that we would want to live. So I was doing that, and it was I really like it out there. It's super chill. Everyone's so friendly, and it's just a lot of things that I was looking for to raise a family. And that New Brunswick seems like a great place for that to happen.
That's sweet.
It is sweet. This is where I'm stressed. So we're looking at this house. We're getting a house inspection done next week. But if that goes through, then we're going to be moving. We're going to be getting this house in New Brunswick, and the closing of the house. We're going to talk about it in a bit, but it's mid-August. That's when we'd be looking to move in.
Okay.
It's going to be like a 3 to 4 day drive to get there, and we got to get our stuff all moved out. Anyways, it's a huge process.
I'm starting to see the problem now.
Yeah, Raids 3 is coming out. They said they're looking at dropping it mid-August, and I don't know what I'm going to do. It sounds silly, but like, I'm actually like, shit, I can't really delay moving.
Yeah, real life has to come first, but it is too bad because it's not very often you get that first day content experience.
I got to figure out. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you miss it. It's like those midnight release parties. I don't know if they happen anymore, but like, I've actually never been to one, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up. But people always talked about they love going to the midnight release. The game is fun, but the midnight release of the game, it's like you can only experience it when it happens. You know, Raids 3 is going to be fun when it's released, but like day 1 and day 3 are going to be completely different.
Yeah.
So I'm going to figure something out there. But anyways, it's been very busy in my real life. So anyways, there might be some pause in the podcast for a week or so. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, it's a little bit anxiety inducing because all of our family's in Ontario. So it's like a big move to move away from everyone in a completely new area that's really far away. And it's a little stressful, but
you'll make it work.
We'll make it work. That's right. It's going to have good internet connection. We're good to go. That's all we need.
Ask you, it's great that you can afford a house out there. It's crazy how expensive it is.
Well, it's like we'll never be able to afford a house here. And then for a long time, I've been looking at other areas. Whenever I talk to someone in the U.S., they'd be like, "Oh, I live in Grand Rapids." I'd be like, "Oh, cool. I'm gonna go look." I love browsing around Google Maps, anyways. But I go to Grand Rapids. I look at what the housing is like, and I'm like, "Holy crap! You could buy a beautiful house for like $200,000, and it's like right in the city."
Insane. My girlfriend and I have been thinking about buying an apartment soon, and it's basically $500,000 for
crazy,
like a 2-bedroom decent one. So it's dicey.
It's tough.
But that's the cost of living in a nice big city.
Yeah,
I'm sure the big cities in the States are no different.
Yeah, it's quite hectic.
Probably some areas are even worse. So I mean, thankfully I don't live in Vancouver. It's even worse there.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's a tough topic. Anyways, I'm super happy that you've managed to make the commitment to move. It's going to be a big step for you.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Hopefully it all goes smooth. Last thing I want to do is find some movers, and then next thing you know, they don't show up.
Right? Yeah.
Bro, where
are you guys?
Fuck did they go?
Are you guys gonna send another kid, Casey number 2, or
eventually, probably? But
okay, fair enough. Yeah, it would be nice to have a bit more space for them to grow up too.
Yeah, and I think you need to enjoy. Like, we finally have him on a sleep schedule where he's napping, so I can play RuneScape and video games in the evening. But just having that time where you're not always like on the clock, like super important. Yeah. That's the hard part about when they're fresh into the world. They're like every 2 hours, or not more than that. They're just like, I'm sleeping, and then just like that, boom, they're up. Hey, I need to be tended to.
Yeah.
At least at like 6 months, you get like nap time, which is like, he's down for a couple hours. Awesome.
And New Brunswick isn't too far away. Like, you can still drive to visit home. Might take a while, but
yeah, it's like 15-hour drive. So you could plan around.
You can't really do that one, can't you? You could stop like in Quebec on the way up.
Oh yeah. We got the route planned out, so it'll take 3 or 4 days. But
so I think it's a really good move for you.
Yeah, and a plane ride is like 2 hours. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So it's pretty hectic. But in RuneScape, I've been like conflicted. So I've been doing the Inferno here and there. I don't know if it's just because I'm like, at this stage where I need to like figure out the early waves and get better at it. But man, oh man, I don't really like doing it. I was telling myself I'm gonna get my Inferno Cape before Raids 3 is here, and I was sending one a few times a week. I'd be doing it and spending a couple hours doing it. But now I'm like playing RuneScape in the evening, and I'm like, I should do the Inferno, but fuck, I do not want to do it. It's like I had this bathroom that I was like, I tore down one of the walls, and I was going to like completely redo part of the bathroom, like do some renovations. And I tore down the wall, put up some new drywall. I mudded it and taped it, and all I need to do is sand it and then paint it. But I fucking hate sanding. And every day I was like, I should do it this weekend, but damn, I hate doing this. So I kept procrastinating for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And eventually I did it. But that's where I'm at with the Inferno. I'm like, I could do it tonight, but damn, I do not want to do it tonight. I don't know. Like, you've done it. Did you? I know it. A lot of people say it's not quite fun when you're deep in it, but is there aspects of it that you did actually find quite fun?
Yeah, like overall, looking back, I did enjoy the whole process. It's very difficult, and it pushes you to become a much better player. And I'm really glad it's as challenging as it is. I think it's one of the better pieces of content in the game. But yeah, when you're in there, it's very hard mentally. Like even when you have the skills down, when you know how to like deal with the stacks, when you know how to flick the blobs properly, like even then you got a lot of work to do. You still have to go through all the hard waves. You still have to kill Zuck. You have to be prepared to die 2.5 hours into a trip, 10 times before you even get a real chance at the cape. So it is a process, and it's like mentally taxing.
Yeah.
So I think the number one thing for anyone wanting to go for a cape is that you have to be. The journey can be fun, and it's very rewarding. It makes you a much, much better player. It forces you to learn mechanics that you've never learned before, but you have to be ready for the process mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just take it. It's not like a casual experience to go and get an Infernal Cape. And there's nothing wrong with not getting one. I said this all the time too. Like if you just want to engage with the game casually, and not go super hard on PVM, like you don't have to do the Inferno. Maybe when you've experienced a lot of bosses, you've done some chambers, you've done a bit of Tob, you've done a lot of the Slayer bosses, and you're like, kind of want to, and you've done some Corrupted Gauntlet. You have a nice base experience, and you're like, maybe I want to challenge myself with the Inferno. I'm ready for it. Then that's, maybe a good time. But especially on a main, if you're just going from like chambers to Inferno, it's a really, really big step. So you just have to be ready for it, is the number one thing I tell people. But anyone can do it, man. Like I have a friend who, sent like over 100 attempts, and it took him like, 25, 30 Zucks. And the man is just an absolute mental fortress, Dills. Like how I just couldn't have done that. Like he died so many times, but he got his cape, and like props to him because he's got the mental fortitude to deal with it. And that was maybe on like the upper end of attempts you'd have to do. Like, but he was really good at the waves. Just Zuck was giving him a hard time. So yeah, you got to be ready for it, man. And I'm sure if he talks about it, like I don't know, I'd love to know his opinion, because I think he enjoyed, like the process was very hard, but it was very worth it in the end and very rewarding.
Yeah, that's all you hear is like the end result feels so good. But I'm sending it, and it's hard. But it's hard in a different way than like Fasani's is hard. Where like Fasani's took me, I died 69 times before I got my first kill. So that's like, I don't know, 10 minutes per run at least, plus gearing and all that stuff. So it was a long process to learn, but I did enjoy the entire thing, and it was quite fun. Whereas I don't get the same feelings with the Inferno. And I think I've been trying to figure out like why is the Inferno so much less fun? And it feels like, at least where the stage I'm at, where Fasani's like a really hard fight. There's a lot of mechanics, a lot of things you got to be like prepared for and all this sort of stuff. But the Inferno, you deal with a lot of different monsters, but each monster is pretty simple. Like there's not a lot going on. You have this melee monster that he'll attack you with melee. And the other mechanic is if he can't attack you, he will eventually randomly dig underground and pop up right next to you. You know, there's the blobs that you mentioned where before they start their attack, they scan to see what you're praying and they see your praying range. Well, a few ticks later, they're going to attack you with mage. So you kind of got to flick back and forth. And then when you kill it, they die. 3 little guys pop up, each doing a different combat style.
The blobs are what make the Inferno hard.
It's tough.
They can hit 30s, and if you just let them like ravage you, you're just gonna get killed. So almost all of the solves involve prayer flicking in a way that will make the blobs essentially irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
So either alternating between mage and range every 2 ticks, or doing it every 1 tick. It's called 2 tick or 1 tick flicking. Actually, it's not alternating is what it really is, because you're going back and forth between the two. But yeah. It can be really tricky, man. It can be really
tricky. And I think what makes it not what parts I'm not enjoying is that like, yeah, you're having to learn the fights themselves. You're not having to like really learn a whole lot like you would with Fasanis, where there's all these things you need to like prepare for and know how to deal with it. Each monster is pretty simple, and then as you get deeper into the waves, you have to deal with more and more and more of the monsters and figure out how you can get one stuck, or how you can like basically make them not a part of the fight as much as possible, whether that's through prayer flicking, getting stuck behind a pillar or another monster or whatever it is. And it's just like, I dread having to go back in there. I got to figure out a way to get motivated.
Yeah,
because
it's tough, man.
It's a tough one.
I remember like when I was deep in it, I knew I could get to like, you know, I'd say the Inferno gets hard at wave 50. Before that, it's relatively straightforward because you're not dealing with too many mechanics at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the attempts really start to like get a lot harder. Maybe 48 when it's like mage melee. Double blob is pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when the waves start to get really, really tricky. And I remember like dying on like mid 50s or high 50s and being like, oh, I still have to do the even harder waves, like the 60s. Like I need more tricks. So I would watch videos of people teaching Inferno and just pick up a few tricks here and there, and then like slowly apply them to my runs. And then eventually I just kind of combined all the skills into a good run. And then, you know, finished off Zuck.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was hard.
I think that's the process right there. So like where I'm sitting right now, I look at it and I'm like, this is awful content. This is hard, but not in a satisfying or a good way. Maybe that'll change as I dive deeper, because as you said, you really like it. You think it's great PVM content. It's just so much different than other hard content. And I think like going into it after like doing Fasanis, it's like a different type of hard, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's way different than anything else we have in the game. And it requires incredible mental strength and endurance to be able to get a cape. I feel like most people enjoy the process when it's finished. Not always true. Some people obviously dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I hear a lot of people when they first start like, this is impossible. I hate this. It's too hard, etc., etc. But yeah, it definitely gets easier the more you practice.
As with all things. Anyways, we'll see. Yep. We'll see where I'm at.
I remember learning Fasanis. It didn't take me quite as long as you to learn, but it was still like I had never done regular Nightmare, and I was like, this is bullshit when I get hit like a 73.
Oh yeah.
And now I find it like very easy. Can kind of like watch a show on the side.
Yeah.
And not pay attention as much and turn my brain off a bit. But yeah, when I first started, I thought it was impossible.
It stuff like that, it gets hard.
And the same thing was with the Inferno. It's just, you know, longer. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, man, I wish you luck. You know, you can always just take a break from it and come back to it in the fall when you're all settled in your new place.
Yeah, you know what? That's the thing with a game like this. You just don't force yourself to do anything. So that's the thing. I'm like, I don't feel like doing it tonight. So I would do Guardians.
That's
of the
how you
Rift,
burn out,
whatever.
right?
Yeah,
that's how you burn out.
Yeah, when you force that. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do burn in Inferno because they're, you know, they just can't get past that wall, but they feel forced to stay there to get their cape to do other content.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Don't make it a chore. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. Not a whole lot, but a whole lot at the same time. But we have a lot to talk about, so let's dive into the news, and we'll talk about that stuff. Okay, I guess first things first. we can dive into the big update this week, sort of the PvP Arena soft launch. Have you had?
You always bring me on for the fun stuff.
I know.
Gills.
You know what? I thought it was going to drop like a week ago, and it didn't. It dropped this week. But have you had a chance to do it?
No, I'm not going to.
You're not going to. You're
No, I don't think I will. No, I don't think I will. No, I watched some streams though, so I definitely got an idea of what it was like.
Yeah, it's the foundation of it seems all right. Now, there's a lot of things that I can nitpick the hell out of it that I dislike and actually annoys me. But the arena itself is not bad. So what is the arena? It's taking place of the duel arena, but instead of actually, it's basically duels. We're going back to what the duel arena was supposed to be, you 1v1ing other people. And what's great is there's different brackets. So there's like 3 different styles of combat. You have your maxed main where you're 99s everywhere except for attack and defense, I think. Whatever. Some things are capped at 75. Then you have your Zerker, so your defense is capped at like 42, 40, or 45. I can't remember. And then you have the 1 defense pure, which is 1 defense. You know, these glass cannons do a lot of damage, but you can get KO'd real easily. So there's those 3 brackets you can kind of pick between, and then you can. It's basically being a beta world where you can choose whatever gear you want, and then you guys face each other, and whoever wins, your rank goes up, and if you lose, your rank goes down. And the idea is that you're going to get paired up with other people with a similar rank so that, you know, if you suck, you'll face other people who suck. So, and that sort of stuff is actually pretty fun. I loved going to the beta worlds and fighting other people with whatever gear is available because that's just kind of fun and not having to worry about losing stuff. So, yeah, that in itself is fun. What I really, really, really don't like is the UI. Everything else, menus, UI, how things are like work when it comes to like queuing up and finding a fight and planning out your inventory. All that stuff fucking sucks. Like, one thing that I'm annoyed is you need to be on a specific world to use this arena. That's not that big of a deal. That's like last man standing or whatever. My problem is, maybe I misheard, but I thought you would be able to queue up anywhere in Gielinor. So what this means is, hey, you're, running agility, but you want to do some breaks and queue up with people and do 1v1s. And the problem with a lot of games, like, we both played League of Legends. When you get to a really high rank in League of Legends, it can be a while before you get paired up in a match because it has to find other people at your rank. And the higher you are, the less there is.
Yeah, it used to be 10 minutes for a game when I was playing ranked.
Damn.
And I heard that even higher elos were like 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, I've seen it.
People would just smurf all the time so they could actually play.
I used to watch like streamers, and what they would do is they'd play a game on the side while they're waiting for it. So they'd be bouncing back and forth. But that just kind of happens when you get really high ranks. And, it happened with World of Warcraft too when your arena went up. But you could queue from wherever you were. So this means if it takes a while to find a fight, not really a big deal because you could be out in the world grinding agility or whatever it is, and then a fight happens, you get a pop-up, boom, you get teleported, you face each other. That's what I thought was going to happen. But what is currently set up, the way it's currently set up is you join this world, and the world is like joining, League server or Deadman mode server. You get ported to the duel arena on like a fresh account. So all the settings are back to default, which means your F keys, if you have your F keys set up a specific way like I do, you need to reset them up. Everything's back to how it was as if you created an account for the first time. That's really annoying. And because you're on this new world with a new save state of your account, you can't train anything. You can't do anything. You got to just sit in the duel arena. When you want to queue up for a fight, there's a button you click, boom, queue up. It brings you into a friends chat, the old clan chat. You're in this friends chat. You can see everyone else who's kind of in the lobby to queue up for a fight. And then you click, I'm going to queue for a fight. And then you wait for someone else to queue up in the friends chat. You guys get paired up. Boom, you teleport upstairs of the duel arena or the PvP arena. And then you go to a chest. And then you can set up your setup. So just finding a match alone is kind of clunky and kind of like the dumbest way you could do it. I know there's back-end stuff and engine limitations, but fuck, man, if that's... Anyways, I got a rant. I'll come up afterwards. I'll make it brief, though.
I've always got a rant loaded for PvP.
It's just, and then when you're setting up your loadout for all your gear, It has every gear in the game. I don't know who decided that we needed access to graceful, but who the fuck is using graceful when you're fighting each other?
Graceful only, Ultimate Iron Man, Tribrid fight.
Exactly, you could do that. But there's stuff where it's like I tried to use the Wyvern, Visage, it's the magic version.
Wyvern Visage.
Yeah. I tried to use that, and guess what? You don't even you can't even equip it because of the defense level. Apparently, no matter which style you're playing on, you won't ever have the defense level to equip it. And so it's like, why the hell is that even there? Same problem with the rapier. I think you're capped at 75 attack. So, and I think the rapier is it 78? Whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So you can't even, there's a bunch of weapons that you can't ever use, no matter what type of account you're using. Can't use it. So I don't know why it's even there. And it has like red dragon hide. No one's using red dragon hide. So it's this long list of items that takes forever to find what you're looking for. But you know what? You can search. So you're like, okay, I want to use, the toxic staff of the dead. So you type in staff. But if there's too many items with the word staff in it, it'll just display there's too many items with that word in it or whatever it is. So it doesn't display any of them. So it's like, I don't know what it's capped at.
They should really cater to just PvP items or even within the realm of PvP.
Yeah, it could be anything fun. And the other thing that's kind of annoying is that people really want to be able to gear up with whatever their opponent's gearing up. So it's kind of like a fair fight.
Mm-hmm.
But you have like no way of knowing what their opponent's going to be using. Even if it's
be like a match their preset or something style button.
Yeah, exactly. And then another thing that's annoying is if you do win a fight, you have to like click on exit the arena. You have to find the door to leave, and then it boots you, and then you have to run all the way back into the arena. Anyways, this is the soft launch. So a lot of these things might get fixed. You never know. I have a feeling they won't be. But I think the fights are great, but it's like so clunky. If the game engine is this limited, we have the same problem with Chambers of Xeric. You need to join a clan chat. If we're like that limited on these weird, we have to do it this way because just is how it is. I don't know.
It's clunky for sure. Hey, another forced update by Jagex.
Ugh.
And it's not perfect. Anyways, positive. Okay, why don't we talk positives for a second, Bills?
Okay, it is fun. I did have fun.
I've heard it's pretty fun. You can set up custom tournaments.
Yep, tournaments are cool.
Which is sick. So like streamers or like communities can do like custom tournaments and they could like have your requirements and whatever. It'd be so cool if they could have like a preset and then you just click it and you're like, okay, we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Setting up brackets and everything. So that's nice. You can spectate both players and see where they're clicking their inventories.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can like a spectator can see both inventories as the people fight.
I didn't know that.
Which has been it's exposed a few AHKers along the way. Yeah, so even since clients got banned, like AHK is like a local side cheating where your like mouse keys are doing everything for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exposed people who are doing 1-tick 8-ways.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's been interesting. So I saw the streamers both like really liking those things. Downsides, obviously, the main one, and this is coming from PvPers, is that there's no rewards. So What's the incentive to actually do it? Whereas at least LMS, there are rewards available. Are they the greatest? No, but there's rewards there. Obviously, nothing past the poll, and then they put it into the game anyways. So I think it is going to be fun for people to be able to fight. It's going to be fun to set up custom tournaments and spectate and do things like that. But I think ultimately it will be kind of dead because there's no reason for someone to just go and grind this like a good PKer when they could just go back out to the Rev Caves and kill people and make money there.
Especially when you got to like change this new world where you're not able to continue wood cutting and queuing up or whatever it is.
So it's like ultimately a fail of the poll system because nothing passed, which is, I mean, the community, obviously, whether it's spite or they actually didn't like some of the changes or a combination of both, whatever. None of the PvP items passed. None of the rewards passed. So the game, yet Jagex still released it
That's
And I
another
think
thing. Yeah.
ultimately, sadly, that will be its downfall because there won't be any rewards and no incentive for people to grind things.
Yeah. So the rewards that did fail the blog, you can use them for your loadouts, so you could fight with them. There's no way to actually bring them out of the arena until someone finds a bug. But so that's how they made their way into the arena itself.
Yeah, like no one's going to do any activity if there's no incentive for it. Which is why we talked about, you mentioned this last week. You know, if there's no pet involved, people just won't do the boss.
Yeah, like,
there's no incentive, and just like how much pets drive the economy.
Yeah, because people love hunting, like the giant
pets.
mole or KBD. Still got people killing it because
if giant mole didn't have a pet, probably no one would do giant mole.
Yeah,
and then bird's nest would be even more expensive.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not totally surprised that the items didn't pass, but I'm surprised that Jagex couldn't come up with something. Like even having a cape that whatever your rank was, it changed. You know, LMS has this, Theater of Blood has this, and Heart or Challenge Mode, Chambers of Xeric has these capes that are just cosmetics. But the better you are and the more you do, the cape changes the way it looks.
At least it's something, so then you could flex it, right?
Yeah. So they didn't even try to pitch something like that when there's like 1,000,001 ideas that are not cosmetics for PVM items like a Dragon Warhammer, and they're not new best in slot PvP items.
Let's just be honest. The items they proposed weren't good enough for both the PVM people and PvPers. They didn't pass the poll, and we went through it. We went through it with the stats episode a while ago. Nothing passed, no matter what community you looked at.
Yeah, and it's like
so they weren't good enough, and they didn't put enough maybe effort into it. I'm not sure what it was.
It has to be the effort thing, because it's like I'm sitting there, and while I did like the armors when they were pitched, I do have to say this is the best you guys can do. Like,
do you also blame them? Because like really, no matter what they do, it's never going to pass the poll if it's PvP. Like even if it's not a good thing, like it's not really going to pass. So it's tricky.
It is tricky.
Like if you look at LMS, like really the rewards are supplies, a Swift Blade, which is only used in Theater of Blood.
Yeah.
And, special like Golden Godsword specials. Like it's cool. It's something, but it's not exactly going to change the PvP scene. It's more of like a flex thing.
Yeah. There's a bunch of random items in there that they just kind of throw in like ornament kits for your battle staffs.
What if they'd put like, I don't know, like the same as a mage cape, but you could upgrade it. So like every time you get a certain amount of wins, or as your elo goes up, it like changes color or some shit.
There's so many cosmetics that people love to chase that aren't super relevant. So like capes, people seem to be okay with because they're kind of cool. Or, I mean, throwing a moat in there and it's kind of an easy one, I guess. I don't know, maybe not.
Or they could have just had like a new mage cape that only has that's exact same as the regular one, but it looks really sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that would have passed because it doesn't actually change, but it looks cool.
Yeah. So it's strange, but
it could be like Cape of the Arena or something like that, and then who knows? Maybe auto skulls you or whatever it does makes it look cool. Yeah, it's disappointing, but I mean, there I think there's a fix out there for PvP, but and then the other thing, we kind of mentioned this a lot, but it drags people out of the wilderness. So I think ultimately this will die, but be used in like niche groups. Also, I was like scrolling through Twitch, and like top streamer Bodhi, next person Mr. Mammal, next person, foe, all PVMers. And then you have to scroll really far down to find someone actually streaming the arena, even on day one. So it's tricky.
Yeah. It's a tough balance, but overall it's good. This is the soft launch. So, we might get some stuff, and they do talk about, hey, the reward shop is there, but it's unavailable, but you can buy like 2 spell sacks.
I'm
which
sure hopefully they add something to it. I mean,
well, they said that they aren't opposed to adding things down the road. But we see that all the time that they're like, yeah, we could revisit this, and then it doesn't get revisited. So, but maybe they will. We'll see what they do for the full-on hard launch next week. I don't know what they're going to change, but hopefully it's a little bit more chill. But yeah, it is fun, and I think there is a way to make this real good. It might end up being like Last Man Standing, where Last Man Standing came out. It was a lot of fun, and then it had no rewards, and people stopped doing it, and then people stopped doing it because nobody was doing it. And the next thing you know, because it took so long to queue, so no one's queuing up for Last Man Standing because they don't want to wait 15 minutes for people when they just sit there and they're like, fuck it, I'll do something else. And then it died, and then like a year later or whatever, they revisit it and revived it by adding rewards.
Yeah, and
making
it's
it
great
better.
now. People like it. Right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, we'll see. We will see.
Okay, we'll keep our eye on it.
Yeah, that's right. We'll put our journalism hats on and see what happens. So there is the PvP arena. What I'm most excited about is after the PvP arena, they said that what's holding up the Wilderness boss rework is the PvP arena. So now that that's out, I'm curious to see what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Next up, we have unranked group Ironman changes and more. It's not that big. Maybe it is. I mean, you can tell me, but you can now downgrade your Ironman account into a unranked group Iron account, and then you can then join a group Iron account. So Heartless, if you want to share one of your Elysian Spirit Shields, instead of hoarding them all, you could join a group with someone, but now you're a forever unranked group Iron Man.
Go get your own, you greedy group Iron Man.
Yeah, so that is what it is. Seems all right. I think Group Iron Man like this idea. I've seen a lot of people complaining, being like, the whole Group Iron Man content is getting very confusing because you have hardcore Group Iron Man, you have Prestige Group Iron Man, you have Group Iron Man, then you have unranked Group Iron Man. And
it's too many things.
It's getting confusing that you kind of have to go on a wiki to sort through to figure out what does this all mean.
Too many colored helmets. Just ban all Group Iron Men.
But yeah, that is pretty much it.
Yeah, we got some Raids 3 stuff in the pipe as well.
We do. So let's go on to the June 22 Gillinor Gazette.
Oh, so excited.
So they started sharing some of the concept arts. I think it's a little bit more than concept art at this point, but they're sharing kind of different areas of Raids 3, the Tomb of a Masket. And they said we are aiming to fully release this raid in mid-August, which is surprising because I thought they for sure, August has one extra Wednesday in it than most months do.
There are 5 Wednesdays, right?
I thought for sure they planned that to give them one extra Wednesday to drop it in.
So my guess is it comes out on the 17th because that is mid-August.
Which would be...
Because their update days are Wednesdays.
That would be pretty ideal because...
Our bingo is right before that, which we'll talk about at the end of the episode.
Ooh, and also my moving date is the week before as well.
True. Yeah, but it might come out on the 10th, but I don't think it'd be any later than the 17th.
Not bad.
If it came out on the 10th, it'd be unfortunate for our bingo plans, but we could always just cut it short. Not a big deal, and just make it a baby bingo.
Baby bingo.
But considering they're saying mid-August, it should be the 17th. I'm surprised they haven't just given us a date. I think they really want to be sure because people might take time off work for Raids 3.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't be surprised if people took a little holiday and took a week off and just spammed it. In fact, I bet you a lot of people will do that.
Yeah, we all know the meme of winter. Was it winter 2017 where announcing release dates can be a little bit messy, especially when you push things back.
Since January, they've done an excellent job of releasing things exactly when they say they're going to.
They have, haven't they?
Well, they kind of got slapped, or not slapped, but they got told off a little bit by the community. I think that fiasco with pushing Next back and pushing back after last summer, everyone was stoked for Raids 3, and then we didn't get content for another 6 months.
Yeah,
and then Leagues was pushed back. I think that whole situation was a kind of a wake up call, maybe for this has a serious effect on how some people like to interact with the game. Like they take some time off for Leagues or whatever.
It can be hard to take
Next
time
coming
off.
Out. Yeah, like fair enough. If RuneScape is a big part of your life and you enjoy it, there's nothing wrong with taking a couple of days off for raids.
Oh, definitely.
Especially when it's a once in a game time thing. It doesn't happen very often. It's once every 4 years. Hell, why not? I remember my first, I think it was last spring, I took off 2 days of work because I had 30 sick days. I was like, fuck this. I'm taking 2 days for bingo. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Took a couple mental health days and just hung out all day with my friends.
Oh, you said it. If you got sick days, friggin' use them. Use them for your mental health. Use it for whatever you need to.
Yeah, but my sick days are disgusting because they carry over every year, so you can stack them.
What? So you could just take off a whole year at some point?
Some people, yeah. It's a little bit grimy, but some teachers have 200 days when they retire and they just call in sick for 6 months.
Wow.
Because you don't get paid out for them, but they do carry over. But obviously if you get sick or have to have a surgery and take a month off, it's really nice. But yeah, it's disturbing how quickly they stack up. So I have like, because I was quite ill this year with COVID and everything, I have like 17 left. So next year I'll get another. You get 15 every year. It's crazy. One of the big perks of the job.
That's awesome.
I just use them when I need to. If it's been a tough month and there's been no breaks, I just take a mental health day here and there. Gotta take care of yourself.
Hell yeah! And if your mental health day is playing RuneScape all day, friggin' do it.
Why not?
Yep.
Why not?
It can. Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, yeah, I imagine it's gonna come out on time, and they haven't released a date because they really want to be sure.
Yeah, for them to say we plan for mid-August means they're pretty far along, and it seems like they have, and it looks awesome. And I will say, even if you aren't going to be doing raids 3, or maybe you're a low level and you're like, I'm not really raiding right now. But if you have the day off, it's a great time to just watch Twitch streams or just to like hang out in Discord. It becomes fun. I was never able to do Theater of Blood on release. It's still one of my most enjoyable times playing this game, watching everyone else trying to do it. And
from what I've heard from like people that have tested and stuff, everyone is going to be able to get a KC day 1 because no invocation or like the easiest possible raid is going to make it quite easy to get through. And then,
it's going to be good.
The difficulty is going to
come on
ramp
out,
up a lot.
enjoy it. It's game day.
So yeah, I'd go out and go check it out. Go make sure you do the quest before to access it. You're going to need to do the quest beneath Cursed Sands. So make sure you get that one done. Also, very fun quest.
It's a great quest. It looks, indeed. Bum bum bum. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, okay, but let's. They have a little bit of lore for us, which is always fun to do. So let's quickly dive in to what they say here. So the first boss. I hate when they have names. How would you pronounce Zebak?
Zebak? Zebak?
Yeah. Zebak?
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Z-Bake. That's what I was going to say. No, that's not what I was going to say.
No way you were.
No, I wasn't going to say
killing me. You know what? You better leave this part in the pod. You go completely unchecked when Deegan is on here.
He also...
The man's as bad as you are.
He's pretty bad. He once called Mod Kieran Kyrene.
No, he didn't.
We got a rating on Apple iTunes. They were calling us out for that.
You know what else you've been going unchecked for? There's someone who subscribes at the end called Hugh Janice.
Yes.
You say that one nice and slow for me.
Hugh Janice.
Huge anus.
Oh, huge anus. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the joke.
That's funny.
Oh,
that's funny.
Just slipped right by you, Deegan, but that's okay. I'm back now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're back. That's it. You're taking notes.
Yep.
Okay. Zebak needed that. So it says, legend has it, the lair of the great crocodile Zebak lays in ruin after many years of housing the ferocious reptilian nightmare. The room was initially much smaller, but as Zebak's hunger grew, so did he. Eventually, the room could no longer hold him, and the walls and floor gave way to make a vast open cavern. Zebak is waiting patiently for a worthy group of adventurers to devour.
Holy, the concept art for this room looks so good.
Yeah, it's almost like the sewage air. I don't even know what you would call it. It looks like the underbelly of the pyramid with like a little swampy. What's the opposite of a lagoon? An island?
There's like a raised hill in the middle, and then on the outside is this like swampy water, and he's lurking in the back part of it, and you really only see his head, kind of like Olm, how you just see his head.
Yeah,
it's
really very cool.
Really good concept art for this room.
Fuck. Oh, it looks awesome. And you know what I love? They do this. They've been doing this for a while, but whenever we get some cool update coming out, they get like wallpaper made. Oh, I save all of it for my desktop. They have one of Vorkath and Sire and even Deadman mode, but they all look really, really cool.
See, I need to do that. I'm a degen, so I have, because I stay up late, the brightness hurts. So I have only black backgrounds.
Black. You have the sky of RuneScape.
That's degen wallpapers is pure black.
That's funny.
But yeah, I'll definitely add them to the file. Once in a while, I'll bring it out, but it's been a while. Yeah, it's looking great though.
It's funny. I recently reinstalled Windows on my computer, So I have all the wallpaper saved, but I'm a bit of a liar, and I also have the black screen in the back. That's my wallpaper right now.
That's degen wallpaper right there.
It does feel nice. Yeah, there's Zebek, the crocodile, the great crocodile. It looks very cool. Next, we have Kefri, Kephri. Is that how would you pronounce that one?
Kefri.
Kefri, we're good. Okay. And it says here, the scholars say that the great scarab Kefri can be found in her lecture theater sat atop her lovely ball of dung. Oh, nice. Once a place of great knowledge has since been sullied by a corruption that knows no bounds. Many of Kefri's hatchlings rush to satiate her thirst for knowledge, but her mind has been twisted and she understands them no longer. So this is looking, what do they call these? The dung beetles? Yeah, it's a dung beetle. And these are beetles that feed on feces. Some species of dung beetle can bury dung 250 times their own mass in one night. That's disgusting. Oh my God. Could you imagine like evolving to like just be an insect that just eats poop?
No, thank you.
But yeah, this thing is in like this ancient, Egyptian looking library, and you have this dung beetle in the middle. It looks awesome. It's very colorful. And we have one more that they've given us. And this is going to be fun to talk about. The Shadow of Tumikin. So it says, when forces of the ruinous powers, those are capital, so that's got to be some sort of faction. When forces of the ruinous powers arrived in their lands, Tumikin and his people found themselves facing an enemy unlike any other. While his children, Amasket and Ixlarin, sought powerful allies to aid them, Tumikin himself hunted down a weapon of great power to use against this new threat. However, rather than claiming this weapon for himself, he instead used it to create the Shadow of Tumikin. The staff is powered by the sun itself, and with that, the brightest light comes the darkest shadows. And they have a picture of this staff, and what we all wanted was for this thing to look as powerful as it's going to be. Heartless, what do you think?
I like it. I think it looks great.
It looks friggin' awesome.
I love that has, so like, did you describe it to people or not really? I mean,
should we?
Basically, let's
do it.
It's alternating between like the handle is red and black.
Yep.
And then it goes right up to the top and there's this like sun crown. And then sitting in the middle is this like black orb, which I guess is like eclipsing the sun or something. And it's it looks one-handed. Could have done with it being maybe a bit bigger. There's a few gripes, but overall, I think it looks really sick. And I've heard, I've heard some mixed reviews from the community. But overall, I think positive. I really like the look of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it looks awesome. And there's this orb that's floating as well, like just a little bit above the staff.
Yeah, specifically the top of the staff is so cool.
Yeah, I think it looks awesome. I think I agree. It could be like a couple percentages bigger. Like the concept art they have, it like is a lot bigger than the person holding it, whereas this, it looks like maybe a foot or a half a foot.
It looks like the regular same size as the staff. That's been my only really gripe with it. Like I like the color scheme and stuff. I heard people like don't like it because it doesn't match Ancestral, but I mean, it doesn't come from Chambers of Xeric, so obviously it's not going to match it. I think they've done a great job, but yeah, imagine if it was like just big. You know how the scythe is like really intimidating? It's so large.
Yeah.
I was hoping the staff would be the same kind of vibe where it was just a big boy.
It looks cool. But yeah, it looks really cool. You could bring this into free to play. People are going to say it looks awesome, but I think people will be like, that could come from a clue scroll. But I think if it looks like the scythe, you look at the scythe and you're like, that thing comes from a raid.
Yeah, it slaps. So you look at the twisted bow, you're like, that's a thick bow right there. Yep. It's a big one. So I think you'd want the same wow factor. Concept wise, color wise, it's all good for me. Looks wise, just make it a bit chonkier. And I think it'd be perfect. But can't wait to get some items from this raid, dude. It's gonna be great.
They you know what? We say all the time that they are very inconsistent in a lot of ways. But one thing they are consistent with is how great the raids are. So when they want PVM content to be good, oh boy, is it good.
I really think they've learned from the good parts and the bad parts of both Tob and Chambers, and I truly think this is going to be an exceptional raid.
I think it's gonna be great as well.
Hmm.
That's some good stuff. That is it for the news. Anything we want to mention before we get to that the call-ins and the end portion of the show?
No, let's do it.
Okie dokie. We're going to take a quick break and head on over to the Grand Exchange where we talk about where you can support the show. One of the ways by doing that is by going to patreon.com/thewilderness. And of course, if you're one of our top tier supporters, you get a shout out every single episode. So thank you to Bronze Yawn, Yolfi Ferrick, Strosity, Mallard, Oh My Lord, P Jackals, Splemo, Szechuan, and Yay Fiber. Thank you guys so much. But of course, thank you to every other person who supports as well and who has supported in the past. I truly do appreciate it a bunch. So yeah, thank you guys very much. But if Patreon's not your thing, you can head on over to buymeacoffee.com instead, where you can make a one-time donation. So thank you to 2JZ Soup, Beefy Click, Hugh Janaz. Apparently it's Huge Anus. Can someone confirm that? That seems I've been missing that one. Anywho, the Kazi and Toasty. Thank you guys all so much for the coffee. It's funny, this past weekend I had a coffee product and was an affogato. Is that it? I can't. It was ice cream, but you poured a shot of espresso on your ice cream, and it was so friggin' good. I'm gonna have to try that with vanilla ice cream. Just get some vanilla ice cream and pour a shot of espresso over it because it was delicious. I'm a big fan of like these coffee products and like, you know, espressos, cappuccinos, Americanos. Those are all pretty good. But okay, here's the problem I have with coffee. It smells like coffee beans smell so friggin' good, and when coffee's brewed, it smells delicious. It still tastes all right, but it smells way better than it tastes. Espresso's kind of the same way. It's a little bit bitter, although I like the foam. The foam is really good. That's on the top. Anyways, I found when I poured it on the ice cream, though, it made it taste as good as it smelled as well. So great stuff. Anyways, guys, thanks for purchasing for that affogato on the weekend. I'm probably butchering that. It's probably called something else, but hey, if neither of those are your thing, you still want to support the podcast and the community. Maybe you love Discord and you've decided to use their membership, their premium service called Discord Nitro to get a whole bunch of other goodies. But with it, you are able to send 2 server boosts to whatever server you want. You can send it to our Discord server, which will give us this unique URL. So that is discord.gg/thewilderness. So thank you to Toddy, Battlestabs, Chick, Twisted Soul, and Zranzax. Thank you all so much for doing that. And you get to use gifts and all this other cool stuff. Yeah, Discord Nitro, it's pretty wild. All right, guys, that is it. So let's get on to the end of the show. Last episode, we asked people to call in about some wholesome story that they've encountered related to RuneScape. So let's hear what 2JZ Soup has to say.
So over the first lockdown, there's a lot of people I met through the clan I was in before the wild. Yeah, they teach me PVM. They helped me get through my first fire cape and everything, give me advice, just generally going out, doing PK trips and all this. And I made real good friends with them in the game, and we started chatting about where we're from. And I realized they only live 15 minutes away from me. So after the lockdown cleared up, we all went out to the pub and had a few beers. And to this day, they're some of my best friends. So I'd just like to share the story with you guys. Thank you.
Oh, right. That's funny. It's how topical. Talk about meeting friends IRL. Yeah, it's pretty cool. My wife gets weirded out when I'm like, oh, I've met this person off the internet. But yeah, I've made some really great friends off the internet.
I feel like I've met this person off the internet that has a negative connotation. I just met this person on Craigslist. We're going to go hang out. It's not really like that, is it? I've spent, 200, 300 hours with this person in voice chat. Like they're my friend and I'm getting to meet them in real life. So it's not going to be that weird.
Usually,
That's the
I was
difference.
looking for a Dungeons and Dragons group. I wanted to find some people, and I met someone off Kijiji. Someone made a Kijiji post.
Dills, you make some interesting choices.
And we met up. I made sure to do it in a public place. We went to a board game cafe, and he was a normal person. He actually knew RuneScape, never played it, didn't play it, but he was like, RuneScape music would be perfect for D&D. Anyways, he was a good person. We played a few sessions and then he dropped off because he got a job or something. But yeah, the internet.
It's really
Strangers
cool.
off the internet.
If you've never met someone that you're friends with online, I'd highly suggest it if you have the financial means to do so. Very enjoyable. Both have been very memorable. Both times I've done it have been very memorable. So I recommend it.
On episode 213, I think it was 213. I'm not going to go back and check. But we asked people to send in their stories of them involving being scammed in some way. So let's hear from, it's funny, you have listed your name here as my wife laughed at the end since she was listening to my call.
Hey everyone, this is TUSA, and I'm calling about the have you ever been scammed? Have you scammed someone question? Back in early 2009, I believe I was part of a scamming pyramid scheme of a sort. And my friend hit me up back then, and he was like, hey, I'll sell you these mint cakes that are going to go up in value. And I was like, how much? He was like, $750K. I was like, man, that's a lot of money. But, he'd never lied to me before. So I was like, sure. So I bought a bunch of cakes off him, and I held on to them for a while to, flip them for a profit. And then after a while, I found one of my other friends, and I was like, hey, I'll sell you these mint cakes for $1 million each. And he was like, sure. I was like, they're going to go up, I swear. So then some time goes by, and then he later hits me up. He's like, hey, you were right. I sold them for $1.25 million each. And I was like, nice. And then I'm assuming the next person down the line also sold it for more, or at least I hope so. Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure the mint cakes were worth nothing since they were released with like a quest, or like at the end of a quest or something. And someone, I guess, just ended up with a whole lot of mint cakes and a whole lot of less money. So thanks for everything you do. And I really appreciate the podcast. That's my story.
Thank you so much for calling in. The mint cakes, I've heard of that. Have you heard of that scam?
Yeah, I've heard of it before. Yeah.
That's a good one. The spinach rolls was another one.
Yeah, spinach rolls.
Because they're hard to get, and you would get them from like wise old men. So people would be like, yo, these things are worth a lot. You want to buy them.
And because like party hats and everything had no value, and pumpkins, like they weren't useful in the game, like it would lead you believe as a young child that yes, items that are useless can be worth a lot of money.
Especially when you have pumpkins, Easter eggs, half jugs of wine, these weird items that, yeah, you could, and if they're rare, yeah, you can be tricked. And they're like kind of hard to get. I think the only way to get them, let me look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's from the Gnome restaurant. It's like this weird food, and it restores your run energy by 50%. That's kind of interesting. And even the trivia on the wiki, it says, so these are worth $13K each. And it says the mint cake carries a significantly higher price than what the Grand Exchange suggests. And this is because the only way to obtain one is a rare reward in the Gnome restaurant minigame. So it barely changes because nobody's buying it and nobody's selling it. So I've not done Gnome restaurant. Have you done Gnome restaurant before?
No.
No. Well, when we get to that area of collection log hunting, maybe we can speak on it, but not many people do it.
It doesn't take very long. People have been doing it recently. But we've talked about like Bodhi really popularizing the collection log train that people were already doing, but he's really popularized it for mains.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he did Gnome restaurant. It didn't take him very long.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, because there's a few rewards you want to get: the Gnome goggles, 16K; Gnome scarf, 1 mil; and the Grand Seed pod, which is like 700K.
Gnome scarf was hot back in the day. That's all the hot girls used to wear is a gnome scarf.
Oh, with the white cavalier,
or white beret.
Ooh, oh, the berets. Oh, I miss those days. Those things were expensive too. The white cavalier was like 400K because it was like you pair that, especially with like a dragon chain, you were looking hot.
Yeah, you're looking hot. for
Strutting
sure.
around Camelot.
Selling yourself for 10K.
Damn.
Those are the days.
Gonna make some money. Oh, right. So, I really should have the sheet here, but we're running low on time. Past episode, we asked everyone to send in some general advice, questions, whatever it was. So we're going to hear from Michael, aka Bloodhound, aka one of the hosts of XP Waste. If you guys are looking for a RuneScape podcast, go check them out. We did a collab with Tryhards for the episode 200 extravaganza. That was a lot of fun. But let's hear what they had to say.
Hello, I'm Michael from the other RuneScape podcast. Anyway, don't want to self-promote here. I have a question for you guys. General topic. I don't know if this was supposed to be related to RuneScape, but it's not. So my question for you, and it's more about just getting advice, but what do you guys do to overcome procrastination? I have a hobby for like the last. I've had a hobby for like the last 6 months, 3D printing, and I'll 3D print something, and I'll get it all sanded, I'll get it all primed, and then literally, it will sit on my desk for weeks, and I don't have the motivation to go and paint it. It literally would probably take. I'm wondering. How you guys overcome procrastination?
There it is. How to overcome. Thank you so much for calling in, Mr. Bloodhound or Michael. It's so weird. There's so many people that like Heartless, even with you, where I'm so used to like calling you Heartless, and then you'll be like, "Oh, this is my real name." I'm like, "What? That feels weird. Your real name's not Heartless? Are you sure about that?" Maybe when you met God of Thunder, you felt the same way.
I mean, yeah. He would call me by my name sometimes. Then he would also call me Heartless once in a while.
Yeah. You're just at the gym. You're like, "Yo, God of Thunder."
I mean,
he's a little.
The guy's an absolute beast at the gym.
Thor.
He benches a little bit higher than I do. That's for sure. Man, it's intimidating going to the gym. It's really nice. I never would have gone if I didn't have someone like him who like could take me under their wing. You know, it's like learning like challenge mode raids or something. It's hard to just get in there and do it by yourself because, especially the gym, it feels it's even different because it's it's your body. It's not just the RuneScape character.
Yeah, so and like for me, I was always worried people were going to judge me. So I didn't know how to use a machine.
Totally, and you think people are going to go like laugh at you, and then it just takes one bad experience. But I found most people really, really welcoming, and he was nice enough to like take the time out of his day to like help me up with like a program and teach me all the moves. So yeah, I was really really thankful for that.
I guess anyone who's listening and is like, "Oh, they've been wanting to go to the gym but haven't." I watched this, maybe it was a podcast. I can't remember where I heard it, but someone was like, "If you want to go to the gym but you're kind of like have anxiety and it's your first time going," that's how I felt. But I really wanted to lose weight. I wanted to get yoked. I wanted to get buff. I want to get my 99 strength IRL. Never quite got there, but we're working on it. But someone was like, just go there, use the treadmill and just walk for like 20 minutes. Get used to being in the gym, seeing other people do your stuff. You're walking on the treadmill. That's easy to do. Lots of people do it. I don't really know why people do it. I go to the gym and I usually do a walk for 5 to 10 minutes just to warm up and get ready. And I always see these like really fit individuals also walking for like 20, 30 minutes. And I'm always like kind of curious why they're doing it.
I mean, it's a good way to get your cardio in and not be, especially in the weather. Sometimes people don't like running on the cement or don't like being in the cold or the hot weather. And the gym is kind of like a nice, cool environment. That could be why.
One thing I have this gym that I go to, and it's really close by, and it's got everything I need. But one thing I friggin' hate, it's like people don't put away their weights. I'm not really that strong, and I'll go to use a machine or use some thing, and they've just got like a 90-pound dumbbell sitting there, and I'm like, I can't fucking move this. Are you shitting me right now? And I'm just like, can't do it. Or like, there's like an area where there's like a bench, and it's just surrounded by like dumbbells that are like 50 to 100 pounds, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw my back out if I try to lift this thing up.
That's interesting.
I'm just not gonna use this machine today or this It's really frustrating, but anywho.
Yeah, it's very intimidating going, but I'm glad I've made the leap because I have been enjoying it a lot. Anyways, this
Yeah,
is
and you
not
feel
real.
good.
It does feel good to just like I have the whole day off all week for 2 months. Like I just don't want to play. I love RuneScape, but I can't play RuneScape for like 8 hours a day. I'd go crazy. So I've been trying to like either go to the gym or get some soccer training in at least
Nice.
5 days a week, and then I can grind in the afternoon and I feel a lot better.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it was nice to have that friend to help me motivate me. But this is not related to the question, Dills. We just got off topic. Oh, I remember
procrastinating.
you were asking if he calls me Heartless or my name is Nathan or Nate.
Yeah.
And I was making lunch or dinner for us, and we were watching the UFC fights. And he also got me into that. It was kind of an interesting sport.
Oh, I used to love. I don't watch it as much anymore, but I used to be obsessed.
I've never seen it, but I've seen it like 2 times now. And I find it very interesting. But anyways, he just yelled. He yelled at me. He's like, "Yo, Heartless, get in here!" It was just so funny to just hear someone yell that. But yeah, Michael's question about procrastination. What's your thoughts on it, Dills?
How do you? I would say, don't. It's. I don't know if there's even a good answer, but you just kind of have to do it. It's hard. I procrastinate things too, especially when they're like the Inferno, maybe jumping into the Inferno. I don't really want to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Or like when I had to renovate that bathroom. I think planning, being like, you know what, Saturday morning, I'm going, whatever it is you're doing, I'm going to do it. And then I like to make it as enjoyable as possible. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to sand. I don't know how 3D printing works. I'm going to sand and paint this 3D printing thing. I'm going to do it Saturday morning. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to go to Tim Hortons, grab myself a coffee this time instead of making one from home. I'm going to grab a coffee, make it fun. I'm going to download my favorite podcast, or I'll save like YouTube videos for like whatever it is I'm going to do. And then I get excited to do it because I'm like I don't always go to the gym. Sometimes I'll go for a run, and we have this stairs that go down this like cliffed area, but there are a lot of stairs and it's killer workout. But I have a bunch of podcasts that I love, but I don't listen to them unless I'm going to go do that jog, because then when I go do that jog, I get really excited. Oh yes, I can't wait to listen to this podcast. And then it becomes like almost like more of an event. But I have had a hard time with procrastination. I do it with like editing the podcast sometimes, where like I'll plan to edit it on Sunday, but I wake up Sunday and I'm like, I kind of want to play RuneScape and I don't really want to edit it. So then I end up pushing it off until Sunday night, and then like kind of staying up later than I should because I'm editing it. But
yeah,
I don't know. How do you do it? Right? You're a teacher, so you probably deal with this with your students, right? Maybe
not really, because they're too young. One nice thing I like about my job is I'm constantly responsible for 25 to 30 children. So there really is no time to procrastinate. Things just have to get done, if that makes sense. Which is one of the like things that really led me to the job, because I also am a big procrastinator. Before, I used to work as like a senior center programmer, and then I was an environmental scientist before that. Those have been my kind of main 2 jobs before I got into teaching. And I remember I got introduced to this thing where when I was at the programming job, there was like 50,000 things. There's like 50 things I could have done every day. And it was brutal because it was a small place. We had like 400 people coming in every day. And there were just so many overwhelmingly large number of things for me to do. And there was only 2.5 employees for this like nonprofit. Basically, it was like a day center for seniors. And I was so overwhelmed. And then I started getting introduced to this thing my dad showed me about, which is just making a list of the most important things you need to do for the day. So he said, pick one thing that is the most important thing. You have to get this done today. So you write that at the top of your list, put a 1 next to it. And then you write 3 smaller jobs below that you would like to get done when you have time. And then write 5 little jobs that you can just kind of knock off that also need to get done, but maybe they're not as important. So it's called like the 1, 3, 5. And it worked really well for me. I was able to like get my big job done every day and then chip away at the other ones, and you can cross them off when you're finished. So then just like after that experience, I just started making lists for myself in my day-to-day life. So like, let's say today I want to, because I'm very forgetful too, and that doesn't help with procrastination. I'd write myself a little note and leave it on the kitchen counter. Like today I want to clean the kitchen. I want to vacuum and, I don't know, paint this door. So I'd write those 3 things down. And then, when I wake up or whatever for the day, those are my 3 things. Just cross them off as I go. So I found writing lists help me with procrastination a lot. And I used to do it at university as well. So any variation of list writing and then crossing off jobs when you're finished I find very helpful.
I've heard a lot of people say like writing a list and it helps you just like, even if you already know what you need to do, but just writing it on paper, it helps almost like ingrain it. Like this needs to get done.
Yeah. And you can just see it in front of you, and then you don't have to remember all the things you have to do. It's just, I get these 3 jobs done and then I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So,
and I know from myself, if I wake up and I'm like, I have to, I don't know, clean out my office. If I'm like, I'll do that at noon, but I'm going to spend 2 hours playing RuneScape when I wake up and drinking coffee. For me, that like puts me in a mood that now I'm like, ugh, I have to stop playing RuneScape to do something I don't like. But if I wake up and then I do the things that I don't like, it feels way easier and better to do.
Get them done first thing in the morning. That's another good tactic. I think procrastination is, I think, something everyone struggles with. And there are lots of tools to deal with it.
If anyone figures out the how to crack the procrastination, send it in, because I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Yeah, and then like the peripherals you talked about, like podcasts, music, knowing there's a reward after, all those things are good. Just like in RuneScape, when you setting a goal is really important. Like, let's say my end goal is to be able to efficiently craft blood runes. But in order to do that, I need to do the Guardians of the Rift outfit, and I need to get 93 agility. So I have a motivation to work on those things. So you could do the same thing in real life. Like, I have to, clean my kitchen, vacuum my floors. And when I'm finished, I can play as much RuneScape as I want. There's something, or I know I'll have 3 hours to like do this activity that I enjoy, whatever it is. I think using motivation can be really good.
Yeah, I think that's it. But the problem with like also, I save podcasts for like when I want to go do stuff. There is the problem though that like when I go to the gym and then my headphones are dead, I suddenly want to leave and I haven't even worked out yet. Or if I'm riding my bike or if I'm going for a jog and my phone dies, part of me is like, shit, I want to turn around and just go home.
It's not easy. There's no one solution, but those are maybe some things that might help you.
All right. So thank you to everyone who called in this week. And per usual, it is our question of the week. And I think you going through Nex and myself going through the Inferno, this might be a great chance to ask everyone else the question of the week being, what content do you hate in this game? But bonus points if it's an unpopular opinion. Carlos, is there any other weird pieces of content that you really, really dislike that come to mind besides like Nex?
Mining is not very fun.
Just mining in general, eh? Is there any activity that involves mining that you kind of like?
It's hard to say. It's not AFK enough, and it's not like wood cutting, and the experience isn't good. And yeah, it's just generally a shit skill.
Yeah, most things do suck. I was working towards 9. This is a quick aside, sort of, but I was working towards 99, and then I decided I'm gonna stop actively mining, and I'm going to passively get my mining experience through Volcano, collection log. I got to do some volcanic mine for the collection log, and then Guardians of the Rift as well. I don't know if that'll get me to 99, but anyways, I got some things to grind towards, so look at that passively. Some of the content that I really hate, the first one that always comes to mind is the Rogue's Den. I haven't done it in a long time, but when I did do it years ago, I remember hating it because it seems like it could be fun and the idea of it is cool, but it just kind of fucking sucks. And you got to like watch a YouTube video to understand how to actually properly do it, basically, because it's just like doesn't really work as you would think it would work. Anyways, curious to hear what other people think. Yeah, send in your what pieces of content do you really dislike, and bonus points if it's an unpopular opinion. If you're someone that like hates Chambers of Xeric or like Theater of Blood or something, want to hear it and why. All right, but yeah, there's the call-ins and the questions of the week. But before we do our little outro segment, Heartless, you got a special announcement.
Yeah, we got bingo coming up. So the YLCC Summer Bingo. We're running back the 6x6 board that we did last time. It was very popular. So if you don't know what bingo is, it's basically like a real life bingo board, except there are things, they're usually drops that you have to complete within RuneScape as a team. So for example, this time we have Crystal Armor Seed. So you'll have to get that from the Corrupted Gauntlet. Bryophytus Essence has been on there for a few times now. So you have to kill Moss Giants and then kill the free-to-play boss. Champion Scroll. Get a Tome of Water or Fire. Get a Ham Joint or Flare Trousers from Easy Clues. So there's lots of content for all different levels of players. Like even if you're 50 combat, there'll be tiles that you would be able to work on for your team. The teams are about 15 people apiece. Sometimes a few less, sometimes a few more, but we tend to balance them based on combat levels and how much you can actually play. So someone like me who plays a lot and has a lot of gear and can do all the bosses would be weighed higher on a team than someone who's level 50 and can only really do a few tiles. But either way, both kinds of players are great help for a team. I'm pretty sure I told the story about the guy who went for the champion scroll. And it was huge for our team. Well, last time we had this guy, Turkleton. Big shout out to him. He just grinded for the Tome of Fire the whole time. All he did was grind for the Tome of Fire. He did maybe one or two other things. That was his main grind. And when he got it, the clip was just wild. I actually have it saved. We should probably play it on the podcast. The clip of us freaking out when he got the Tome of Fire. He was so excited. So yeah, it doesn't really matter what level you are. You can really make a difference to the team, and it's a great way to make some money, make some new friends. Entry fee is 2 million GPs, and if it's a little too much for you, if you're a new player, then you can just message me in game, and I'll cover you. It's all good. The dates, we're running from August 5th till August 12th. The signups are live in the Discord, so you can go and check the event announcements tag, and if you're not in our Discord, you can find a link below. Yeah, everyone is really welcome to a join. And there's stuff for all levels of players, even like if you're like an end game pet hunter or, just a low level or an Iron Man in between. There's plenty of stuff on here for you.
One, it's good if you like want to meet some more people, like even people who might be hanging out in the clan chat or the Discord server. Some people might be a little bit more, they might just kind of lurk or be a bit more shy. It can be sometimes hard to just dive in socially to like a community, but being put on a team and then you and the team get to work together, and it's really exciting. And it's a great way to like meet a lot of friends as well.
And all the teams are so welcoming. Like we always, players who have more experience will take lower level players to do content. So this time there's Guardian boots are on the board, which means you're going to have to get a pair of Bandos boots from General Grodor. And you're also going to have to get a black Tourmaline core from Grotesque Guardians. So anyone can complete the tile. It doesn't have to be done by one person. So, there's going to be some bandos going on, some group bandos. I remember we took, can't remember his name, Astro something. Or we just called him Astro. He was like, maybe 100 combat. We helped him gear up a little bit. I gave him an anguish. And yeah, he came out to bandos and we had a blast. It was really fun.
Yeah, so it's great for learning PVM because there's you got so much to do. And again, it can be hard to like dive into PVMing because sometimes you like maybe don't want to ask other people. But when you're on a group, people are going to be actively being like, who wants to learn God Wars or whatever. It's exactly. Yeah, it's quite like newbie friendly, I suppose.
Totally. And yeah, we're kicking off this time. It's on Friday, like I said, Friday, August 5th. We're starting a few hours earlier. So at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you'll have the whole day. And that gives the British, I think that's 8 o'clock. British, 8 p.m. British time. Greenwich Mean Time, I guess they call it, GMT. So they'll have the first night to be able to game as well.
Yeah, that's great.
So yeah, really. Are there any tiles that you're specifically looking forward to this time to see people go for?
So nothing off the top of my head, but this is part of the beauty of bingo, I find, is that anyone who's been listening to the podcast for a little bit, or if you ever go back, or you might be dealing with this yourself, but a lot of main accounts get locked on this like quote unquote money grind where you're just like focusing on making more money to buy that next item. And usually when you're looking for the best gold per hour, there's like a handful of things to do. And you could do other things, you'll make money off it, but it's not great money. And then they did a good job by bringing out the collection log, because then you can focus on, okay, I'm going to go do Temperos because I need to get the Tome of Water for my collection log, and I'll make a little bit of money there anyways. So that's fun. But then the problem I have with that is like there's close to 1,500 items on the collection log, and I'm over 500, which is a fair bit. But there's still so many items to unlock that I get it's like I go on Netflix trying to find a new show or movie to watch, and I scroll forever looking for a new show or movie. And I do that with a collection log where I'm like scrolling through and I'm like, oh my God, there's so much to do. I don't know what I want to do. It's just too many options. But then with bingo, you can just kind of dial in on a few tiles and be like, I'm going to go for the Tome of Water. I need to do it anyways for my collection log. I'm going to focus on this. It kind of gives you a little bit more direction, and the excitement of everyone cheering you on when you do unlock it is always exciting.
Yeah, it's like that's a good point. It's basically like a team collection log, and it's a time gate, so you have a week to work on it, and just get as many tiles as you can. And we're experimenting this time too with the number of, you get 1 point per tile, so 36 points are available on the board, but then you get bonus points for completing rows because they're significantly harder to complete. So this time there are going to be, I think we're going to make it more bonus points, either 3 or 5. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but it is going, I think last time it was 2. So that will give a little bit more of a tactical edge to this bingo as well. Because in previous years, people have come really close, even finishing like the 6x6 board. Like teams go hard, but even if you can only play 1 hour a day, like, hey, it works. My old friend TK, I'm not sure if he plays anymore, but hopefully he listens. He used to hop on at work and just do like quick round of, Winter Todd, and then would pull a piece and be like, got a piece for the boys. It was great. Yeah, we love to see it. So 100%, I highly suggest you come out and make some new friends, and test out some new gameplay. I think the tile I'm most excited for is the Abyssal Lantern. It's a very challenging tile. It does take a lot of like theoretical. We like base the hour. Weez and I do a lot of math in this too, just to confirm things are like fairly balanced on the board. But the lantern's a corner tile, which is one of the harder ones. So it really gives skillers an opportunity to make a big impact on the team as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, there's something for everyone. Yeah, the Abyssal Lantern's an awesome one because I've been grinding Guardians of the Rift recently, and it's a lot of fun. So a little bit of extra motivation. Yeah, that's exciting. Cool. And of course, if your team wins, you get some money on top of everything else. There's so much gold that gets generated every bingo. There's like
multiple. It was like 2 or 3 bill last time that everyone
it's
made.
Like every team like accumulates like a bill. It seems like it's crazy amount.
The pot ends up being between like 2 and 300 mil based on how much people donate. So the winning team gets 70% of that pot. So they get a good 150 plus mil to be divided out amongst the members, and a lot of the richer members sometimes don't even take their splits. So there's a lot of money to be made for like lower to mid game players if they want to join something like this, and a lot of new content.
Yeah, it's fun.
So come on out and sign up for bingo. It's live in the Discord.
Amazing. So if you want to join the Discord, it is discord.gg/thewilderness. And of course, we have our in-game clan, which is Wild. If you want to email, got any questions or whatever it is, you want to answer the question of the week through email, that works. It's thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. And our Twitter is @thewildernessrs. Anything else that you want to mention before we do our little exit?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I'm curious to see what people dislike in the game. Yeah. We've talked about what people like, and it's very clear that I dislike next. But yeah, we're looking forward to hearing what people have to say, and I'm really looking forward to bingo this year. It's going to be a nice warm up for Raids 3 as well, which hopefully will drop around the 17th. So
yeah, that'd be perfect.
Exactly.
All right. So our song of the week is going to be in theme of the PvP arena. It will be the Amir's Arena. Yeah, and it says prior to an update in 2021, April 28th. I don't know why I said the date that way, but I did. The track was only played inside the arena and not the hospital or entrance. However, it can still be heard in its former area if using classic music mode. So I wonder, did they just change? Oh, you know what? The song used to be called Duel Arena. So this is the Duel Arena song. It's now called the Amir's Arena, which makes sense.
Hopefully it doesn't trigger too many people.
Yeah, no kidding. They start like, stay away from the casinos, I guess. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.
This is your before and after story. Southeastern College can help you prepare for a secure and fulfilling career in the growing healthcare field. We offer a wide range of careers to choose from, so whether you want to be a medical assistant, medical billing and coding specialist, nurse, surgical technologist, or another healthcare career, we've got you covered. Become a vital part of a healthcare team and make a real difference. Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.